what we're going to do first here, because he said he was good, is we're going to do a little mini warm-up with some of our SuperSpeed equipment. We have a number of different warm-up protocols on our website, but I'm going to go ahead and just give him one here. First thing I want you to do, let's just do this real quick. This is kind of the most basic warm-up we do with SuperSpeed. I want you to turn around, go non-dominant side for me. Okay? We're trying to get more muscles activated in the body, and this is probably the best way to do that in the swing, is to make him incredibly uncomfortable, make him swing left-handed. So what we're going to do, I want you to start out, I don't need full speed. We're going to do 10 swings, starting at maybe 50% of your max. By the 10th one, I want you to be at 100%. So here we go. All right. Is it possible to get club speed, ball speed up there? Can you pull club speed, ball speed up on the monitor? Okay. So he's going. Again, there's been a lot of talk in the last, we've done non-dominant training in all of our protocols at SuperSpeed for a long time. One of the most effective things that we've seen, my good friend, Dr. Tyler Standiford, actually did a study where we had players only swing on the non-dominant side for an entire 6-week protocol. That particular group of like 25 golfers actually got a bigger gain in club speed than when we do a lot of our studies over doing both sides training. So it's kind of crazy that that works. There's a lot of different science out there about it in other sports as well, but non-dominant training is here to stay in all of our training at SuperSpeed Golf. All right, where are we here? I haven't been counting. We're at 9. 9? Was that, by 10 you have to be at 100%. 9 definitely didn't look like 90%, did it? Come on, get after it. All right, good. Let's go ahead and go now on the dominant side. Same thing, 50%, and then by number 10, I want to be at 100%. Here we go. So this is going to be part of both our level 1 and level 2 warm-up protocols. What we're doing here is really just getting loose and getting muscles activated. The non-dominant side, we'll ask him how he feels after this, but definitely starts to get a lot of the muscles that we would use sort of in the deceleration chain of the kinematic sequence activated and going. So we see a lot of big jumps in some of the kinematic moves as we get there. We're gonna do it with the 7-iron here in a second. So as soon as he's done here, we're gonna grab a few swings with the 7-iron. I just want to see where we are. And then we're going to have the really cool part of being able to get some actual analytic data here with these 7-irons. Looks like she's already going through it and found one here. Okay, do you feel a little bit looser now?
Oh yeah.
He was lying to me before. He was not warmed up before we just did that. All right, let's actually get let's capture one of these for our baseline if we could, Jihei. Yeah, we'll do 7-iron. It's fine. We can look at jumps here as well and go. What's that?
Club speed?
Club speed, ball speed. We're going to look at whatever we see. By the way, tell me while we're doing this, while she's getting set up, tell me just a little bit about your game. So, you look like you have a pretty good move. You've played competitively or not?
Through youth, but not competitive anymore.
Okay, so through youth competitive, not competitive anymore. What are the how far do you hit the ball off the tee?
On a good one, 320, 330.
Okay. So, and obviously, you've been around Foresight for a while. Like, what are you used to seeing your club speed?
For the driver, anywhere between 120, 125.
All right, so 120, 125. So we're talking kind of higher end elite speed here with driver. So 7-iron, where do you usually hit your 7-iron?
190, 195.
190, 195. Well, luckily speaking, we have a great launch monitor system here. We're going to see if he's lying. Let's go ahead and let one rip and see what we get. Seven iron, 190 to 195 estimate. All right, looks pretty solid. Flying right toward the Eiffel Tower, is that it? Hitting the side, oh, that's cheating. You're not allowed to hit the pavement. It's okay, we're gonna look at carry distance anyway. So what we get out of that on carry distance here?
211.
Okay, 211. So Yeah, maybe even a little bit hotter. Yeah, we may have a hotter 7-iron than his normal 7-iron, but that's pretty good. I'm all good with that. So, tendency for that is that slight amount of draw, kind of a normal shot shade. Is that what you're trying to do? You want that?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Oh
that
boy,
draw,
here
that
we
draw
go.
Is what I'm going to go for. Okay.
It's soft.
Okay.
It's up to you guys. We can hit one here with driver too. We can use the 7-iron here to take a look at it. All right, this all looks pretty solid. Keep pulling this up. So that was the 7-iron was 105 club speed.
Yeah.
That is killer. Let's go ahead and let's just stick with the driver. I think that's a little too soft for you. That's gonna.
Warning on the net. I don't know if the net will hold the driver.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
good. We're gonna just stick with 7-iron for right now. What I want to do now is kind of look through some of this Sportsbox data, connected with some of this launch monitor data, and kind of see what we see here. So, Jihei, if you can just go ahead and pull up on the bottom, let's look at some of these turn numbers here first. Like, let's look in the backswing, kind of. So that's toward the top of the backswing, about 34 degrees of pelvis turn. Oh, even more. So we got even more. Can you just slide that for me so I can see it go? I'm a graphs person. I come from the world of graphs with this, so like when I see these numbers on these tiles, it's like moving a line on a paper for me. So kind of helps to see that in motion. Okay, so right in that 47, 48. So a lot of downswing loading in this particular swing. So we're seeing a lot of the lower body start to move early. The chest is following. A lot of lag. A lot of good stuff here happening, Dylan, so far. All right, let's keep going over here. I want to look at some of our lateral movement stuff. So let's look at our like hip sway, trail knee sway, because I actually think those are kind of going almost the opposite direction of some things that we see sometimes. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but you almost go this way really early.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to take a look at where we are with those. So as we're going to the backswing, see he's actually basically he's moving almost the opposite direction in some ways of what we're doing there. That's really interesting. Okay, so keep. Yeah. Which again, if I had to choose between somebody like really overdoing sway, in the backswing and actually moving this direction as they go, I'd pick that one. That's going to help us use the ground better in some ways. Yours is almost on that side of being a little bit excessive, though. So I have a couple options for you there that I think are going to help a lot. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep going through that. I want to look at can we look at pelvic lift as we're going through impact? This is great. Like I'd be here flipping through my phone. I have somebody back here that's a complete professional at Sportsbox doing this. Let's take a look there. So actually go back there right at the top of the backswing. So because of that movement that we've got there, we're very, very level with the pelvis as we get toward the top of the backswing there. So what we see with a lot of very high power players, like what we're seeing there is as the backswing starts, we're able to kind of unload, if you will. So there's a little bit of almost a lift, and then there's a squat as this starts down, and then we get a little lift as we're going through, as we're really taking advantage of vertical force early enough in the swing. Again, we don't have force plates here that we're looking at, but I would actually guess here that lateral force is working extremely well for you, almost probably excessively. I think some of what I'm seeing in the turn numbers are working really well for you. Torques are working really well. You don't look like a person that's getting the most out of vertical force on the lead side. That would be my guess looking at all of this. And we can get some really good ideas on that looking at both 3D data here and looking at the launch monitor data connected. And again, we're already dealing with a player that's at a high end of club speed here. I mean, what did we see on there? Apples to apples, 105 or so with a 7-iron. I think that's pretty good. Okay. Does start to come up a little bit at impact, but there isn't that drop number I really like on here. So where we had that marker that GA pulled up about how much drop we're getting from the backswing to not, there's a lot of really good data on seeing that sort of unloading of the ground force and then being able to load it back as we go. Okay, so let's take a snapshot of where some of those numbers were. Remember where some of those numbers were. I'll let our experts back here do that. We're going to work on a couple little easy drills that I think we can look to get some things better. So I'm going to pull out a couple of my I don't know if you guys use force pedals, but if you guys haven't seen these guys, they're some of my favorite training aids that we work with. The first thing I want to do is I actually want to maybe see if we can reduce a slight amount of this forward push so that we're getting a little bit more down pressure actually in the trail side, which is going to allow you then to be able to almost unload a little bit and then have a little bit more of the down and up motion that we're going to be looking for. So I'm going to throw this down. What I want you to do is throw that under the inside of your trail foot. So go ahead and pretend set up for me here real quick. Okay, up. So I'm putting about half or so of that force pedal under the inside of his trail heel. Now that feels goofy, right?
Yeah,
okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to give you a SuperSpeed club, and I like to use our heavy SuperSpeed club for this. It helps a little bit to have a little extra mass in the club to exaggerate what this might feel like to him in the swing. All right, so I'm going to give that to you. We don't need a ball for this one. I want you to make 2 slow swings for me. And what I want you to do is feel like that as the club's coming back, and actually add a little counter rotation forward of the club. As that club's coming back, I want you to be smashing into that force pedal as long as you can into the backswing, and then let it rip. So kind of overly slow backswing, smashing into the force pedal, and then go. Okay, let's do it again. You guys can already see how he's not able to push left, right? And again, I don't want to take all of that away, and it will never take all of it away to get a new feel like this. What I really want to see is something I haven't even really told him about yet, which he's already doing, which I really like the idea of, and that's as he's turning back and smashing into that, he has to almost come up a little bit and then have a little bit more squatting up as we go, which will change that pelvis drop number that we're able to see on Sportsbox. If you notice, that one was in the red because there was almost nothing there. Good. Okay, now I want you to do 3 swings like this, and I want you to absolutely crush that thing into the ground, tear it apart, hard as you possibly can, fast, aggressive swing, and make that happen. This is one of the things that we do a lot of with SuperSpeed. I'm a big believer in training a lot of these motions. Once somebody has a feel of it, training these motions at full speed. When you break movements apart too much, you actually start training different motor patterns to do these things slowly or in pieces, as opposed to training the overall athletic motion, which is really what we're about when we're really trying to get speed. All right, one more here, all right, 2 more maybe. I get talking and I forget to watch my students sometime. It's an occupational hazard. All right, let's see it. Last one. Smash it hard and move it. Okay, good. Now, we're gonna hit a couple shots with that. So what's this drill all about? I mean, this drill is all about cleaning up a little bit of how the right foot is pushing on the ground, which I'm hoping to clean up with that, how the actual pelvis is moving up and down during the golf swing. Now that seems like those may not be connected. I think they're very connected. And again, it's not all, when you see something you don't love, you don't have to attack that thing. You might be able to attack the reasons or the causes that it's happening. All right, same feel here. We're going to hit 3 shots. I want you to smash into that thing just like we did those practice swings, as hard as you can. Let it rip. Hey, look, did that, and here's another thing too. When you start to train the whole motion at once, many, many times players don't tend to hit a whole lot of bad shots when they're working on it. How'd that one feel? What did we get on club speed there? Was that one reasonable? Let's see if that one already was close. Yeah, so that already went up 2 miles an hour. I mean, again, first swing out of the gate. Hey, I have a question for you too, Dylan.
Yeah.
What does this feel like to you?
It feels more like my driver swing. Because my driver swing, I feel that load, and I've never done that with my irons.
Okay, so it feels a little more like your driver swing. I love that. Whatever he just told me is what we're going to talk about for like the next half hour, okay? Like, it's got to feel more like your driver swing. Don't ever tell your students what it's supposed to feel like. You do not know what it feels like to him. He told me it feels like his driver swing. All right, this one, smash it into that thing, make it feel more like your driver swing. I kind of like all the other numbers on that. I don't know about you guys looking at this through, but it doesn't look completely like a driver swing to me. It just looks like an absolute beat 7-iron. Awesome. A little thin. Let's go again. Bad shots are my fault. But it's good to find the limits. Like if that one maybe was a little too exaggerated, that's fine. And I think that also had to do, just be very careful when you are working with something like a force pedal. Make sure that you don't like guess on your distances. Make sure you're working with this and it feels exactly. I think that one was a little off as far as your normal setup. All right, let's go ahead and see this. All right. Good. So do you feel like that felt more like your driver swing? Yeah, probably got a little more draw there. I'm not shocked because we're over-exaggerating a little of this up and down. Probably has a little less rotation. That one was hit though, holy crap. 153 ball speed, 108 club speed. Again, if we were doing this with driver, the main goal is what is that club speed and ball speed going to? That's already pretty good. All right, you ready for the fun part of this? Because now we're gonna, so we just worked on the trail side part of this, allowing him to have a little more press here so he can unload, get a little more of this drop. Now we're gonna work on the up part of it. The up part of it's pretty fun. Do you know how to do a vertical jump?
Squat vertical jump?
Yeah, do you know how to do a vertical jump? It's not a difficult question here, come on.
I don't think I do. I don't do verticals.
Okay, well, if you were gonna do a vertical jump, face them and show me what it looks like. And it looks like we got space up here, so you're not gonna kill yourself. Oh boy, here we go. Vertical's terrible. Okay, not bad. It's not how you do a vertical jump in the golf swing.
Yeah.
No, I'm just, this isn't a very interesting point, okay? So in the golf swing, when we're trying to use vertical force, okay, what are our arms doing as we're jumping in the golf swing? Anybody, any thoughts? Come on. No.
Was your jump in the golf swing?
So when does vertical force happen in the golf swing? When do we need to use it?
As we're using it.
We're using it right around the, we're using it like we want this to max out like as we're bringing the club about halfway down in the backswing. So what are our arms doing when we're trying to peak it out? They're moving down. Do a vertical jump now, and I want your arms to be moving down as you jump.
Start with them up.
This is the, by the way, if anybody has social media and wants it on this is the fun part of the experience. Let's see it. That was actually incredibly good. I'm just gonna let you know, like, it is very rare that we actually see somebody athletically coordinated enough to do that. We call these reverse jumps. Reverse jumps are a drill that we do all the time. We'll also do these in the gym with medicine balls, where what we're really trying to do is like, as you set up and as you squat down, I want your arms to be moving up, and then I want you to jump and have that jump almost be the move of forcing your arms down. That's how we jump in the golf swing. And when we start to learn that coordination and get that working, that's when we can really start to do this. So like a physical exercise you could do would be like a medicine ball slam where you're jumping to make the ball go down to the ground. Okay, let's do like 2 more of those. I always like to move drills furthest away from the application of the golf swing to direct application in the golf swing. This is just generating a feel. Don't squat down quite that far. So you're doing a good job, but down and then up. Okay, let's go. Oh, see what? I'm telling you, all of you guys go try this after you're done here. I guarantee at least 80% of the people in this room will not be able to do this, even though you're all good golfers. This is why we see a lot of golfers that are like peaking vertical force at impact, because they can't do this. This was pretty good here already. All right, good. All right, kind of got the coordination of that?
Yep.
All right, now we're gonna make it fun. I'm gonna give you the 7-iron just because I have a little bit of stuff on the ceiling I don't want to hit.
Yep.
So now what I want you to do is do what we call it's kind of like a jump back swing. All right, so I'm gonna take a force pedal. Let me demonstrate this one for you so we don't kill anything here first. So I'm gonna put this under the ball of my lead foot. Okay, which is kind of where we want point of application of force going in the downswing. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna have you bring this back slowly and jump back away from it, okay? So we're kind of getting a little more like the golf swing here, and it's gonna look really weird. Again, I told you, taking videos of your students and posting them on social media is something we all should do. It kind of makes everybody feel a little bit more human. Good, now just get on the force pedal and do it. That just gives you a little more feedback of where we're pushing through the ground. Good. Crazy, right? Does that feel weird? Is that a fun golf drill though? That's a lot more fun than just standing there and banging 7-irons, right? All right, let's do one more of those. Now, I know that feels goofy to you and exaggerated. Do you have any feels that you kind of have out of that, or what does that feel like as you're going through the body?
It actually feels good because what I normally don't do is get this left shoulder out of the way enough.
Yeah?
And pushing on that foot.
Yeah, so he said it feels good to him because it feels like he's getting his left shoulder out of the way. And he feels like that's something that gets stuck a lot when he's doing these types of movements. So yeah, I mean, again, how you push on the ground affects the way that you rotate and sequence in your golf swing, affects a lot of these upper body movements that we have. And again, we didn't talk about your left shoulder, but look at that effect. I think that's good. So let's do now just 2 practice swings with the force pedal. 2 practice swings with the force pedal here. Not jumping off the ground. And your goal here is that feel of it a little more like your driver swing and that feel of your left shoulder getting out of the way. You get that? You get both of those feels on that swing? All right, one more. Good. All right, now let's hit a couple shots. Keep the force pedal there. I want to keep the feedback there until the very end. That feedback of having that force pedal there, and make sure it's not too far toward the middle of your foot, right under the ball of your lead foot. Ball, no. Placement, force pedal placement. All right, go ahead. So it's going to be right there under the ball of your lead foot. Good. And then just move the ball so that it feels normal in your stance. A little more like the driver swing and the backswing, and then really out of the way with that shoulder. Now, if you had to guess, hit that one maybe a hair chunky, right?
A little bit.
Still decent. If anything, where is this going to move low point of his swing compared to what he was doing before? What do you think? What do you feel like?
It feels like it'd be moving it further back. I don't know if that's...
If anything, like we may see a little bit of movement back of the low point of his swing. I wouldn't be shocked if it, at the end of this, or if the first time he did it, we may see a thin shot or two. A thin shot's probably going to be a really common one that we might see.
Club speed up more though.
Club speed's up. Where are we going on our pelvis drop here so far, G? Hey, how we doing? We're getting there? We got 2 more inches already. I mean, how long have we been doing these drills for? I mean, you made what, like 8 swings? I think it's okay that you can see results in just a handful of swings if you're doing the right stuff. You do the right stuff by analyzing the data and then recommending the right drills. All right, let's see it. One more here. The little thin, right? So again, I always like to leave my students saying, okay, on a good one, if it doesn't feel perfect, it may be a little thin, just so that they know where that spectrum is going to be. That club speed keeps creeping up, though. Have we already gotten 5 miles an hour at club speed with a 7-iron? That's ridiculous. All right, let me have that force pedal back. The last piece that I would do in any good protocol or drill cycle is just straight application, usually 2 shots. And then what we would do is go back to the very first drill we did and cycle through that entire process again. Develop those handful of feels, try to apply those feels to what we're actually doing with the golf ball. All right, let's go ahead and do this. And I mean, you're allowed to get this above 110 if you're okay. It's fine. Like, you know, I know they're worried about our net and screen here, so I mean, if it breaks, it is what it is. I can't be held responsible. I think that's actually one I like a lot. I mean, had just the tendency for you to probably over the hook the ball with your old move was high, right? Like if you're gonna miss by over hooking it. I think as you get this really moving, the tendency for that face to want to stay a little open is great. Did we get that one? I think we're good there. You were an excellent sport. You know, I'm not always expecting to come in and be coaching somebody that essentially has my ball speed with a 7-iron, which I'm angry about right now, but I will work on. But good work, buddy. I really appreciate the help of that. Let's take a look at the data. We want to take a look at the data a little bit? Okay. Oh my goodness, we actually got above the range there. So one of the things that I think is very important with everything you do when you're coaching, especially when you're coaching with great technology like this, test the drills that you're giving the player. if you say, okay, I've identified these problems, all right, and you've said, okay, I think these are good drills to do for that problem, retest the data and make sure the drills are actually doing what you expect. Because if I would have seen this pelvis drop thing go the other way, or either the drills I'm giving him aren't working, or he doesn't understand how to do the drills correctly, or he doesn't have a good feel system, and if he doesn't have that by the end of that lesson, there's no chance he's going to go to be able to practice that on his own and get better. But like right now, that only took us maybe like 15, 20 minutes. I'm confident that if he goes and uses a couple little basic devices with a couple pretty simple feels, he's going to be able to make that change on that metric that I'm looking to change in that situation. I'm done at this point. I need him to go practice, right? I think that's pretty good. Okay, let's take a look there though. So we definitely got some more exaggeration there. What's that? Yeah, we were 0 in pelvis drop before. So that was the thing we decided was going to be something that could help him gain speed. So we decided we're going to go after that with a couple drills. Got over 2 inches more of that pelvic drop in just a handful of swings there. Probably, what do we take, 10 swings? We could probably tell it. Foresight would tell us exactly how much that is. I'm pretty happy with where I am with this. You know, I think, Jihei, anything else in there that you noticed when you were looking through there? Can we look at the, can we go back and look at pelvis sway and knee sway? Remember how far he was going to the left in his initial ones?
So it's measuring pelvis sway.
Yeah, I'm just looking like as he's taking the club back. Was that before?
No, it's after, but
That's something.
address like in a different position.
Oh, okay, so that's the other position. So we're looking in the address position. That's fine. Do you have one of the previous, did you take a swing where we can see it front on? I'm just curious, because that was another metric I was looking at was, you know, his pelvis was moving way left as we were starting, trying to decrease that just a little bit.
So this is at 3 right now, so positive 3.
Okay, so it's starting at positive 3, so let's see where we are off of that. Yeah, so he went back. He's now, as you can see in the video, it's definitely not going that way as he's starting back right away, which is, again, something I think is a good change for what we were looking at. I think that's going to make the ball striking a little bit more consistent in what we're doing. Again, great work. I really appreciate everything you guys do at Sportsbox and Foresight. Really excited to see more of this. Are there any questions I can answer about what we just did here with Dylan or anything else? All right, well, everybody, thank you very much for coming this afternoon. We hope you enjoyed it. You know, come see the Sportsbox booth over in our training instruction section. Come check us out over at SuperSpeed. Also going to be doing another presentation on ground reaction force and some case studies at Smart to Move here in a little bit. So come check that out as well. Thank you all for coming.